I am not ashamed to say it that for 20 good years living in the UK, I have failed. And today I just wanted to talk about it, not to bring shame, but to bring freedom to myself. You know, when I was back home, when I haven't been to UK yet, I saw the evidence of people coming from abroad to Africa, see them in their big, massive cars. They have lovely houses. Some of them build mansion houses. So I have that big dream that, oh, one day if I go to abroad, I'm going to be like him or I'm going to be like her. That was the dream I have until when the opportunity came for me to come to abroad. Immediately I came, I had that dream that I'm going to be big, like those people that went to Africa that was showing off with their big cars and big houses. So I was thinking I would do the same. So I was so happy. So I have that dream that when I come to abroad, I'm going to do exactly the same like them. So that was when I entered to a lot of mistakes. Because of that thought I have in my mind that I'm going to make it very big, I made a lot of mistakes whilst I was here. For the 20 good years I'm here, So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through some of the biggest mistakes I made when I entered the UK that makes me failed today. So the first mistake I did was I was very, very loud. When I said loud, I was very, very loud. Loud in a sense, immediately I entered the UK, I started calling back home. I started calling not just my family, because I call all my families, even to the newborn babies. I call everybody. I wanted to talk to everyone. And then after that, I started chasing after my friends, all the people that I know back home. I started calling them just to show them that I am in the UK. And in those days, remember, there was no WhatsApp. There was no WhatsApp at all to say that like you can call for free. Like, so every contact you want to make in Africa, you have to buy a SIM card. There are certain SIM cards in those days that you have to buy, like Leica Mobile or Talk Home cards. So I spent a lot of money just buying cards or SIM cards to call back home. So immediately you start talking just for 5 minutes, sometimes even less than that, the card has finished. Then you have to go back and purchase another one. So I spent all my money, the one I came with, I spent it all just buying card and SIM cards to tell everybody back home that I have arrived, that I am in the UK. Look at me, I am here. I was living in a single room. I was living with with my landlord. There was a lady landlord who has 3 bedrooms. And then I rented in one of the one rooms. So I was living in that one room. I was paying £50 per week to the landlord. And in that sense, I was looking, because the money I came with was almost running out. So whilst I was calling back home, calling my friends, families, every day, like almost every day, I'm calling everybody to show that I am here in the UK, showing off. I'm in a big life. And I was taking pictures. I was showing them pictures of where I am. And I will look for attractive places where I can take photos so that they will see that I have arrived in the UK. So that was the lifestyle I was living. So I found out that my money was almost running out. So in that sense, I was searching for a job. And I was so lucky enough, just in the space of 2 months, whilst I was here, I found a good job. And I was getting paid £250 weekly. £250 weekly. So those calls I was making, not knowing that that was my biggest mistake. So all those calls I was making, imagine, there was a promise behind those calls. Because when I'm making calls, almost everybody I was in contact with, they will tell me their problem. They will tell me their problems. They will tell me 1 or 2 problems. Like some of them, oh, I'm run out of my rent. I don't have money to pay my rent. Or my child's school fees. I don't have money to pay for my child's school fees. Or I've got a debt, a loan that is almost taking me to a cell. Or they wanted to arrest me because of this loan. Or some can say, oh, I'm not well, I'm sick, or my child is sick. A lot of problems. There was a lot of problems. I started promising because at that time I don't have money. So I started promising, okay, at the end of the month, I will give you, I will send, I will send, I will send. Those are the promises I've made because I've already been loud and I have to fulfill those promises. So immediately I got my job. That 250 I was earning per weekly. So I have to take off the £50 to pay my landlord, and then that £200, that £200 remaining, I have to send like £100 to my family, like £50 to my mom, £50 to my siblings, and then the remaining £100, the only money that will left with me is like £30. The rest is sending them to friends and relatives, those that I've already promised that I'll send them money. So that £30, the reason why I have to save that £30 is for my travel card. There was a time, even the £30, even my bus pass, that is my travel pass. There are some times I don't even have money to buy my travel pass. I have to borrow money from people like my co-workers that, oh, if they pay me this week, I will refund back the money to you. That was the lifestyle I was living on. That was the lifestyle I was living on because I was pretending as if everything is okay for me here. Anyone that calls, oh, Maria, please, can you send me £50? Can you send me £100? Oh, I have this debt. Oh, I have these bills to pay. I would never say no because I've already shown myself, I've already shown off that things are okay for me here. So at the end of the week, I started sending money. So that was my biggest mistake. That is being loud, showing off that everything is perfect, everything is okay for me in UK here. It leads me to the second mistake, which is the black tax. When they say black tax, that is sending money back home. That was my second biggest mistake. I started sending money. I was showing off that things are okay. It's like when I was working, the 250 I was earning every week is just to send back home, pay my rent. Nothing for me to show for, nothing to save at all. It's just black tax. It's just all black tax. So please, when you're coming to abroad, avoid these two mistakes, which is being loud or sending black tax back home. Avoid that. In your first few months or first few years staying abroad, please lay low. Don't be too loud. Lay low, find your path. I'm not saying don't contact friends and family. Know those who you can contact. Know those that you can contact that they won't bring bills to you. And sometimes when people ask you for help, learn to say no. If that is something that you can't afford, learn to say no. Don't be a show off like me. Don't say you have it all, then you start pouring money back home when you yourself, that money is not enough for you. So learn to say no. Learn to say no to black tax. Don't be like me. But now I've learned my lesson. Being loud does not make you rich. So learn from my mistakes. So the third biggest mistake I made was by taking advice from people who have been living in the UK for a long period of time. Don't get me wrong, some advice can be very good, but some advices can lead you into trouble. So make sure you do your research, which I didn't do. I didn't do my research. Remember, I'm getting £250 every week from my workplace. And with that 250, £50 goes towards my rent, £100 goes towards my family back home. And then the remaining £100, maybe £30 is for my travel pass and for what my weekly feeding. And then the remaining £70 is for black tax, that is sending it to friends and family. In that 250, I have some children I'm paying school fees for. Those children I'm paying school fees for, they are not part of my relatives or neither my families. They are just friends I'm supporting, I'm helping back home. Just giving them that show of that things are okay with me and that I can do anything. So in that midst, I mingle myself with certain friends who influence me to go for credit cards. I have 3 banks in the UK, and all those 3 banks have got credit cards in them. So these friends influence me to take credit cards. Credit cards would help, not just building up your credit score, but also when you're struggling because of this debt that you encounter yourself. Because all of them, I think most of them, I own them money. I think most of them, I own their money. So they advised me to go for credit cards so that I will stop struggling. So now this credit card, imagine my 250, almost like £1,000 every month. I still have to pay for these credit cards, the minimum pay every month. At the end of the month, absolutely, there is nothing for me. So with those credit cards that I have, my friends will come to me, oh, Mariatu, there is a sales in this shop today. Come, let's go and do some shopping. I ended up shopping unnecessarily. Any new designer, any new clothes that comes, I must get it. I must wear that new clothes. I must wear that new designs. Any shops that is on sales, I must go to that shop with my friends. Not to talk about parties, because when you buy clothes, you need to have somewhere to bluff with those clothes. Every parties, I am there
No
with my friends. We
way.
go out partying, we go out every birthday parties, married parties, or even occasional parties. We are there to show off what we wear. That was my biggest mistake. I ended up even I ended up using all my credit cards, no money there. So it's like I was just working to pay for my credit cards. And there was a time, I have to stop, not my friends, my family. The £100 I'm sending for my parents back home. Instead of cutting my friends' school fees and paying for their children, I rather cut my own family's money. I started sending only £50 so that I will be able to save that £50 to balance my credit cards. Otherwise, I will be in trouble. That was my worst mistake so far. I can shop every weekend because weekends I'm off. I don't work on weekends. So every weekends we are out there shopping. And at night, we're ready to go out to bluff with those clothes, to show off those clothes that we already wear. So I have nothing to show off for. There was no savings to show off, just credit card debt. So with the credit cards, I was very, very reckless with my credit cards. I was over misusing my credit cards because I was living a high lifestyle, trying to show off, especially when it goes to parties. You want to show off the clothes I wear the last time. You will never see it on me again. Every parties that I am invited to, I must wear a new clothes. And that new clothes has to be an outstanding clothes. My outfit, my outfit needs to show off, to be seen in the crowd. That's how expensive the outfits I'm going for. So don't be like me. When you're here in the UK, if anyone advises you, make sure you do your research to find out if it's the right advice for you, if it's something that you can take. So make sure you do your research. So now let's look at my fourth mistakes, which is, when you come to the UK or abroad, you have these mobile companies where you can get a mobile phone that you can pay for monthly. Some mobile companies, you have like a 2 years contract where you can pay every month. It depends the type of phones you are going for. And for me, because I am the show off girl, I want everybody to see me that I have arrived. So every latest mobile phone that comes out, I am in. I am in for that phone. First, I was using iPhones. Every latest iPhone that comes out, I must get that phone. And they don't come cheap. I was paying every month up to £70. Every month is £17 for that mobile phone, and the contract is for 2 good years. So calculate 2 years paying £70 for that mobile phone. How much is it gonna cost you? How much is the cost at the end of the month? And sometimes you can even purchase this phone for like £1,000. which you don't necessarily have to pay monthly with this fee, this £70. And I have to pay £70 every single month for 2 good years. And after the end of the 2 years, guess what? I'm not going to stay with that phone anymore. I'm not going to stay with that phone. I will still go for the latest one that has already arrived when my 2 years contract ended. I will still go for the latest one again. And this time around, maybe the price is different from that £70 I was paying. Now the price will go, because the more latest the phone is, the higher the price you will pay. So I ended up my latest phone I was paying for almost like £93 per month. I was paying £93 per month. Could you imagine? I was wondering, am I okay? Am I? I just wanted to show off that I am me. I am here. I have arrived. So that was my biggest mistake. Every latest phone that comes, I must get it. I was so paranoid on spending. I was called shopaholic. That was the name my friends were calling me at work. I was called shopaholic. So please avoid these mistakes. When you come to abroad, when you have your phone, even if it's a contract, it's 2 years contract. When your 2 years contract ended, if your phone still look good, stay with it until it runs out. Because when your 2 years contract ended, then you will have to pay for only the SIM card, not for the phone anymore. It depends the megabyte or the gigabytes that you have on your SIM card. That's what you're going to pay for at the end of your contract. So don't be like me. Avoid these mistakes. Otherwise, you will never save anything with that type of lifestyle. So with that, it leads to my fifth biggest mistakes by not focusing on savings. When I first came, because it was so in my head to show off, to please people, to say that I am here, I have arrived, this is me, I am in the UK, I must show myself that I am good looking, and I'm wearing expensive clothes. Anything that comes, I need to wear it. And I want to mingle myself with friends with the same lifestyle. When we go out, we want to be like, we are here, we have arrived, we must be noticed. So in that sense, I wasn't focusing on savings. I wasn't focusing on what I would do back home. Nothing like that was in my head, like, oh, I need to save money because of I have a purpose to come here to make money, go back home and start up a life there back home. I wasn't even thinking of that. I forgot to mention something. With that credit card I had, do you know that I went for a loan car? And it's not just any car, but it was a Mercedes-Benz I went for using my credit card. And I was paying £500 every month for that car. At that time, the job I had before, I have changed job. Now I've got a job that I was earning money from. I was doing very well. I was getting like £2,000. So instead of me to limit my spending, I went for a loan car and I was paying £500 every month for that car. Insurance is not there. Road tax is not there. Petrol money is not there. This is just the finance of that car that I have to pay every month. So please avoid these mistakes. When you come here, don't go for an expensive car. If you really need a car, there are some cheapest second-hand cars that you can go for if you want to ride around. Maybe you want to avoid paying for your bus pass or travel card. Maybe where you're working is very far and transportation is very difficult for you, you can go for a second-hand car. Don't do like me. Where I was living, there are a lot of public transport. You've got train stations next to me, you've got buses next to me, but at the same time, because I see myself so big that I can't enter public transport, I need to be driving a car. That landed me to those big mistakes that I wasn't focusing on saving. But now I've come to realize my mistakes. Until I visited an elderly lady in the care home where she shared her story, how she was like the way I am, and how she ended up being in a care home. So her story really inspired me by looking at myself. Am I going to end like this? Hell no. I said, no, no, no. I need to take a step back and look at my activities and see what I could learn and what I can change. So the reason why I'm making this video today is for us to reflect. When you come to abroad, don't take the lifestyle. Those people that comes back home, when they come for visits, when they are showing their big cars, they're showing their mansions, they're showing off their pretty clothes. It's not everything that glitters are gold, because I have experienced that. When I came here, because of what I saw back home, I thought everything is silver and gold here. So because I didn't see that, I started showing off myself by living a high lifestyle just to show off back home that life is okay here. And that was when I started reflecting with all my activities I've been doing. The high lifestyle I was living with no saving, nothing to show off. And that really hit me harder. Looking at myself, now I'm going to start from afresh. I'm going to start from afresh. I am not ashamed to say that I have failed, but so I'm trying to build up myself to see how I can get out of these mistakes, start thinking when I should return back home. And back home, you cannot just return back home just like that. You need to plan yourself, you need to plan your future. This is what I am intending to do now. How I can save to build a future back home. So in conclusion, I am not ashamed to say that I have failed. So I'm just sharing my story. If you're here in abroad and you are thinking of being loud like me, so think twice. Loudness does not pay. You become loud, trust me, you will never save in this country, because you will always want to live a high lifestyle. Because in order for you to be loud, for you to be seen in the crowd, you have to show off for it by presenting in a very high lifestyle, and that costs money. And we all know the salary that you are getting here is not just about what you have to eat or what you have to wear. Remember, you have bills to pay and you have black tax to send back home. So that money is not going to be enough for you. So this can then lead you to go for either credit card or loan, and leading to deeper debt in this country. So avoid those big mistakes that I've already made. And now I'm trying to avoid all those mistakes. My car, I'm going to end up paying my car immediately the contract finish. Then I'm going for a cheaper second-hand car. My credit card, before I'm making this video, at the moment, I've canceled all my credit cards. At the moment, I'm using only one credit card, which was advised by the bank. I've already canceled all those shoppings I was doing before, those lavish shopping. That has already been out of my way now. And now I've started saving. It's not much, but gradually I'm seeing something, at least something is staying in my bank account. And my focus now is to return back to the continent. So that's the path I'm working towards. Save and try and invest back home. So if you find this video very helpful and also is spoken to you, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, so that every time I upload any of this content, you will be the first person to be notified. So make sure you click the notification button as well, so you will be notified. I will see you on the next.